Welcome back, you two pipe smokers. Mutton Chop Piper here. Well, today's video is entitled All Hail King Retro Hale. Now, before we get into the video, I want to do some housekeeping. Today I'm smoking my Savinelli Oscar Tiger Rusticated, model 311. And out of it, I'm smoking some Elizabethan mixture. I wasn't quite sure about the Elizabethan mixture when I first smoked it, but as I smoked more of it, I really enjoy it. Alright, so today's video is going to be about how to retrohale. So, what does it mean to retrohale? Well, what it means is when you draw the smoke into your mouth, instead of letting it out of your mouth, you direct the smoke out of your nose instead. So why would we want to do that? What's the purpose of retrohaling? Well, before we get into that, I want to pass on to you some information that I found out about how our nose affects our taste. Our smelling function is carried out by two small odor detecting patches made up of about 5 or 6 million yellowish cells high up in the nasal passages. Now remember that number, 5 or 6 million. For comparison, a rabbit has 100 million of these olfactory receptors, and a dog 220 million. So we're low on those receptors compared to a rabbit or a dog. The human nose is in fact the main organ of taste as well as smell. The so-called taste buds on our tongues can only detect four qualities: sweet, sour, bitter, and salt. All other tastes are detected by the olfactory receptors high up in our nasal passages. Alright, so our tongue can only detect those 4 categories, and the rest of the smell, or the rest of the taste, is taken over by the nose. So let's say that you're eating spicy food. Well, that spicy food, the spices are detected by your nose and sent to your brain as taste. So if you're eating hot wings and you've got some hot pepper in there, then it's not your tongue that's actually tasting the hot pepper. It's your nose detecting the smell of the hot pepper, and sending that information to your brain. Your brain says, oh, it's hot pepper, this is how it tastes. It's kind of cool, huh? Okay, so why would we want to retrohale? What's the purpose? Well, for me, retrohaling gives me a flavor blast. So I'll be smoking my pipe as normal, and then every once in a while I'll send the smoke up through my nose, and it enhances the flavor of the tobacco. So if I'm smoking something with vanilla, then I get sort of a vanilla blast. If I'm smoking something with maple, I get sort of a maple blast. All it does is it helps enhance the taste of the tobacco. So how do you retrohale? What's the mechanic in which you retrohale? Well, it's sort of like riding a bike or swimming. You can show someone, you can explain it to them, but until they actually do it, they really don't understand how it functions. So I'll explain it to you, but it's up to you to learn how to do it on your own. Now, some people can't retrohale, and then other people it comes naturally. When I was in South Carolina visiting smokingpipes.com, they have a brick and mortar store, and when I went in there, there was a gentleman there who said he had never retrohaled in his life because he just physically could not do it. So how do we retrohale? What you do is you take your pipe and you clench it in your mouth and you close your mouth. You draw in the smoke and you guide the smoke toward the back of your mouth, near the top of your throat. And then you exhale through your nose. Make sure that your mouth is closed when you exhale. The function or the action of exhaling that oxygen out of your, or not out, the carbon monoxide out of your nose will also draw that smoke along with it. But if you keep the smoke toward the front of your mouth, it won't have the opportunity. You don't exhale enough to draw that smoke from the front of your mouth to the back of your throat, top of your throat, sorry. So let me explain this again. Have your pipe, clench it, draw in the smoke, try to direct the smoke toward the back of your mouth to the top of your throat. Don't inhale, just direct it to the back of your mouth, and then exhale out of your nose. At the beginning of the video, you might have seen me doing a little bit of retrohaling. 2 little puffs of smoke come out of my nose. That's what retrohaling looks like. All right, now, I would highly suggest, if you have never retrohaled in your life, that you choose either an aromatic blend or a very light English. Aromatic blends usually have, well, most of them have casings. Vanilla, maple, things like that. So as you're smoking it, and they're smooth enough to where when you retrohale, they won't bother your nose all that much. You just pick up on that flavor blast of vanilla or maple, or a light English. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, there are some tobaccos out there, and I know this from experience, that will irritate your nose to the point where you will either want to cough or you'll sneeze. A good example is Perique. Perique is peppery and it's spicy. So as you retrohale that spice out of your nose, for me at least, it kind of irritates my nose a little bit. And I have sneezed or I have coughed because it's so strong. So when you first learn to retrohale, you need to try it out using an aromatic blend or a very light English. Try not to pick a tobacco that's got a lot of Perique, because I'm telling you, it will irritate your nose. The more Perique, the worse it is. It would be like taking some pepper and shaking it on the back of your tongue and then directing that pepper out your nose. You're going to get the same effect. Okay, so let's review. Your tongue can pick up 4 distinct flavors. The rest of your taste comes from your nose. If it's some type of spice, your nose detects what that spice is and sends that information to your brain, which converts it into taste. The way you retrohale is you put the pipe in your mouth, you close your mouth, make sure that it's good and closed, draw in the smoke, try to guide the smoke to the back of your mouth and the top of your throat, and then you exhale through your nose. I would highly suggest that when you try this, you use an aromatic blend or a very light English. Once you've learned how to retrohale and you can do it without thinking, then you can try any tobacco you want. But be aware that if you pick a spicy tobacco, it will irritate your nose, depending on how much spice is in that tobacco. All right, well, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're viewing this video and you'd like to subscribe, I'd appreciate that. And if you like the video, I'd like a thumbs up. Until we speak again, or until our next video, I want to wish you and your family happy piping.